want your business to go to another level, you must try to learn and hear something new. So make the change today. So don't procrastinate and see your business grow and change. So check out Drastic Results, yeah, with Tony Harris Taylor. Tony Harris Taylor. Drastic Results, oh yeah, with Tony Harris Taylor. Yeah.
Welcome to the Drastic Results with Tony Harris Taylor show. We are rebranding the show. It is 2024 and we are super excited. It's going to take me a minute to stop saying the same tagline, but we are now marketing strategies for drastic results, where we are interviewing entrepreneurs and franchise professionals and talking about marketing. Frankly, one of the hardest things for entrepreneurs to do. And so we are excited about 2024. We hope you are too. And I can't wait to bring these fabulous guests to you. So today I want to talk about business cards. Business cards. Yeah, I actually have right here on my desk 3 stacks of business cards. Okay. So the number one question is, if any organizers are out there, they're probably cringing. It's like, why are you keeping those things? So why do we keep these business cards? Likely because we feel like there's some gold in these cards, and there is, but not if they're just sitting on your desk. So today we're going to be talking to my guest who was a business card on my desk. So here's the story. February 2022, I went to Vegas to the IFA convention, the International Franchise Association convention, and they do free headshots. And, I never pass up an opportunity to get my headshot. And so I'm standing in line, and this beautiful lady's behind me, and she is so friendly, and she has on fabulous glasses. Now, y'all know it's part of the brand. Glasses are my thing. So we strike up a conversation, and we took each other's business cards, and we promised to follow up. Why I didn't book her on the spot, I'm not sure. Probably because she said something about her calendar. Anyway, I was going through business cards, sorting through these cards on my desk, and I'm like, I remember this lady. I'm going to reach out to her. So I go over to LinkedIn. I find her profile, I send her a message, and she didn't respond. Now, this stayed with me. And when you get those strong urges in your marketing, you got to take the drastic step and follow through. So I said, I'm just going to call her. And I did. I don't remember if she answered or not, but she responded. And today, we are fast friends. By the way, if you answer my call, you're likely going to be my friend. But she was so receptive to connecting with me. We've probably done 6 one-hour calls at this point. She lives in Oklahoma. And we just have helped each other. She was in transition, and we're just helping each other. Neither of us have bought from one another yet. But we will be referring each other business. And the point is this. You have got to go through those cards and reach out. The easiest thing to do is take those cards, go to LinkedIn, go to Facebook, find these people. I got your card on my desk. I don't even remember when we met, but I want to get connected. And then invite them to a Zoom call to find out what they got going on. It's the beginning of the year, so this is the best time to say, what's up for 2024? If you do that 10 a week, imagine how your business will grow. So we're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to introduce you to Shannon Wilburn, and she'll tell you all about who she is and what she does, but she is near and dear to my heart. And the fact that we both have 20 pair of glasses is a great starting point for a relationship. We'll be right back. Here's my girl with a fabulous pair of glasses.
Thank you. I love that intro. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, so many people are afraid to pick up the phone. I actually have a little phone phobia too. But I just remembered that you and I had that kind of instant thing. And by the way, that was February. I didn't call her till August. I let
and I remembered exactly who you were because you are so kind and personable, and you dress so well, and that is what I remember. I'm like, oh, this girl, she has it going on.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
Well, so you and I connected. First of all, tell everybody who you are and what you do today.
Yeah, and by the way, when you were talking about business cards, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have my stack right here. So yeah, and they are hard to throw away. I have more up in my cabinet right here. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy
what we're going to do. Hold each other accountable.
Yep.
Did you reach out to 5 to 10 of those people? So you know I'm going to hold you accountable.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. We'll have to talk. It was definitely inspiring just listening to the opening. But yeah, I'm Shannon Wilburn, and I am an entrepreneur and a founder. I've started 4 businesses, had the opportunity to have successful exits from 2 of them. And my most recent endeavor is that I am doing executive coaching for founders and entrepreneurs that want to go from 6 to 7 figures through scaling. So I work with purpose-driven entrepreneurs and founders.
I love that. I love it. I love that you had successful exits from 2 businesses. I also heard 2 of them wasn't so successful.
Well, one, I'm still running 2 of them.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So she hasn't exited, and she's a multipreneur like most of us. So yeah. I love that. So Shine Executive Coaching.
Yep.
What led you into that?
Yeah, thank you for asking.
And why the name Shine?
Yeah, and I don't think I've ever told this story. So it's funny because I have the business I ran for 25 years. I've told that story on multiple podcasts, on multiple media outlets. But really, you're the first person who has interviewed me about my kind of transition into this new thing. So just a little bit about me. I have been in the franchising space for 25 years, started and grew a brand called Just Between Friends with an amazing team. I did not do it by myself. I had lots of people on my team, some very wise and amazing executives. And so I just feel super grateful that I was able to walk that road. When I sold the business in December of 2022, I should say, we had 150 plus franchises in 33 states. And now I'm still involved with the brand on a very part-time basis as an advisor and brand ambassador. And the new CEO is fabulous. She is doing an excellent job. The company has grown this year by 20%, and they're going to hit system-wide sale milestone of $50 million. So yeah, so they're doing really, really well. Well, as I was trying to figure out when I was in the process of having a transaction, I was trying to think, well, what am I going to do next? And I did a lot of praying, asked the Lord for revelation, like what is next for me? Because I'm a grandmother, but I knew that I was not going to be a full-time grandmother because none of my grandkids live locally. And I knew I'm 53 years old. I wasn't going to sit at home and twiddle my thumbs. And I love to build things, but more so I love to help people. And so I asked myself, well, what can I do to that end to be able to help other people maybe navigate their own business And since I had been able to do that successfully, I thought, well, this is a great avenue. And quite frankly, many people were telling me, you need to start a coaching business. And so that's what I've done. I feel like I'm a baby in the coaching business, but I wake up every day excited to talk to my clients. And I love being able to help them realize their dreams. So that's what I do. And you asked me how we came up with the name Shine. It's funny. I have I don't know if you can see that. I probably should have turned that on over there. Well, as I was moving into what's new for me, and praying through that, also getting ready to elevate a new CEO into the position that I was vacating. My twin sister, I have an identical twin sister.
Oh God, no, you haven't told me that. Two of you?
Yes. I can't believe I haven't told you that, Tony.
No.
Yeah, so identical twin sister. She lives in Dallas. And she's one of my spiritual mentors. And she took me aside and she said, Shannon, she said, I feel like you are trying to minimize yourself in this transition so that you can elevate someone else. But she said, the Lord does not want you to minimize yourself. You have all of this experience and 25 years of wisdom in growing and scaling a brand. She said, the Lord wants you to shine. And then she gave me a verse that talked about that very thing. And I was like, okay, that is my name. That is my name. So that's where we came up with Shine. Thank you.
Your energy, your personality, you radiate. And yeah, I need to meet this twin.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you would love her for sure. I tell her, I said, my friends want to be friends with you.
Yes, because of you.
Yeah, because she's amazing.
Okay, well, we got to make that happen somehow. Yep. So I love that you were able to, your franchise, you were able to move it along, make it sellable, which is one of my big goals.
Yep.
One day. And then also be able to find your new place. Now, I also definitely see for you keynote speaking.
I do a little bit of speaking. I will say that I have lots to say, but then when I have to, actually prepare something, the effort at which it takes for me to prepare all that stuff sometimes makes it less appealing to me, but I am absolutely open to that and learning how I can do a better job at that. I'm actually speaking to my husband's a pastor, and he has me coming in on January the 2nd to teach. So it's really not speaking, like stage speaking, but he wanted me to come teach them about AI. So
very good. That AI thing is big. So.
Yeah, just a little 45 minutes. And then my husband and I think this might be the second time ever that we're going to be speaking together at my husband's on the board for Abilene Christian University, which is both of our alma maters in Texas. And they have a leadership summit in Colorado Springs in January every year for 200 college students. And we've both been asked to speak. And so it's funny because I'm going to go after my husband, and my husband is a gifted communicator. So I really have to be on my A game if I'm going to follow him.
Well, let me know if you need some help with that.
Okay.
I know people. So there you go. Awesome. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about marketing, because you in growing your franchise business, and now you're a marketing machine. And I really want to talk about the nuances of marketing, especially when you're scaled and you got to pass those skills to other franchisees.
Yeah, sure.
So we'll be right back with more with Shannon. All right, we are back with Shannon. So let's talk marketing. So tell me some of the marketing strategies that helped you to scale and bring on new franchisees.
Wow. So I have a funny story, Tony. So my degree, what I went to college for was to be a teacher. And so I taught elementary school kids before I did any of this business stuff. But when my kids were little, I wanted to be able to stay home with them. And so that's where the brand Just Between Friends was born. It's basically a marketplace for families to buy and sell gently used children's and maternity clothes, toys, and baby equipment. And so when we were growing the original location of Just Between Friends, I mean, we did things like dropping off of flyers at day, like we would print out, it would be, an 8.5 by 11 tri-folded with all of this information on how to consign, when the shopping hours were, and that's all I knew how to do, is because there were no websites back in the 1997, especially for small business. So I think networking absolutely was a part of it. I don't know that I recognize that.
Mm-hmm.
But so we grew the brand very grassroots, guerrilla marketing for the first location. And in 2000, so that was 1997. In 2000, I met someone who would later become the president of my brand. But she was a friend that I had an actual other job where I was selling advertising. Oh. And she was one of my clients, one of my first clients that bought an ad in this magazine called Community Spirit Magazine back in 2000. And I started going to lunch with her quarterly. And she was a master marketer. She was the director of marketing for our local downtown Doubletree Hotel. And so I would pick her up, we'd go to lunch quarterly. And at one point we started talking about Just Between Friends, which was this little, I'm telling you, little business in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And she said, now tell me about this business. So I started talking to her about it. And she said, well, what are you doing for PR? Mm-hmm. PR? And I said, what's that? Wow. And she said, Shannon, you have to tell the media about your event. They don't just know this. And that was kind of my first, Diane was my first and longest mentor in marketing. And from that point on, she said, Shannon, I want you to come to my house this weekend. I'm going to show you how to write a press release. I'm going to give you, again, back in the day before all the news stations had websites. She said, I'm going to give you the list of all of the media professionals here locally, all the assignment editors. And she said, this is a proprietary list that I have curated over the last 10 years. If you give this to anyone, I will never forgive you. Because it was intellectual property for her, for her role. Mm-hmm. She gave it to me. And we got our first media that next year. And so she said, when the media starts covering you, they're going to find out that this is something their viewers want to hear about. And so they're going to cover this every time after this. And she was right. I don't think there was a time after that in my role as co-founder of Just Between Friends of Tulsa where we didn't have media. And then when we got to, around I think when I sold that business, it was doing 1.4 million in sales annually. Wow. And we were having all 4 stations cover us. But anyway, so.
Wow. Now,
I've got to be.
This is what I heard and you didn't say.
Okay.
But this is where a lot of entrepreneurs miss the mark. So
okay.
I want to reiterate what I heard.
Yes.
People liked you. That client liked you enough to share her proprietary list. When you showed up in front of media, they liked you. You had the right energy. You probably gave them something because you're a giver.
Yep.
So because you showed up in a way that you were likable, people did things for you. And when I tell you that's true for me as well,
Yes.
so many doors, so many concessions have been made for me when I wasn't qualified or I wasn't all the way prepared. People would say, I got you, girl. And they still do to this day. And go
Oh
ahead.
my gosh. Can I tell a story?
Sure.
Still, I know 100%. I heard a speaker say this one time. When everyone brings joy into the room, some people bring it when they enter and some people bring it when they exit.
I'm still in that.
Yes. Yeah. Because it's so true. And so when I walk into a room, granted, I'm an extrovert and I love people. And my husband makes fun of me about this because he has to be extroverted for his job, but he's a true introvert. So when he's home, things are very different than when he's, at a church of 2,000 people. Right. He's very quiet at home. And, but anyway, where I was going with that is, I walk into a room of 1,000 people at IFA opening reception. There's probably, 1,500 people in the room. And I'm looking around and it energizes me. And I'm like, 1,500 new friends. I mean, that's how I feel. And I know that is not the case for most people, that it's completely the opposite. And so I don't know, I have some tricks for that, but I wanted to tell you that I joined the International Franchise Association in 2007. Devin and I did not know a single person. Devin, my co-founder, we did not know a single person that was going to be there. And so we were walking in. It was very overwhelming because there's 3,500 people that attend that conference. And you're walking around like, oh, where am I going to sit? Who am I going to talk to? All of that. And I watched the crowd and just how people would hug each other. And I was like, okay, there's lots of people who have been in this industry for a while and they have friendships in this industry. And I wanted to be one of those people who got to sit at the feet of other people who had gone before me. So at that point, we had only been franchising for 4 years. And so I watched and people gave back for free. They would just give free information. Even competitors were sitting at the same round table. And because we're all in this space of franchisor, supplier, there are people sitting at the table that need to learn. And it's all for the benefit of the franchisees that are then buying the brands that are represented in the room. And so I met Mary Thompson. And if you don't know who Mary Thompson is the COO of Neighborly, which is a multi-billion-dollar company that has like 30 brands. They're all home services brands. So like Mr. Rooter, Glass Doctor, Brown Sky.
I'm aware of Mary. I've watched her on Franchise Master. Shout out to the Franchise Master.
Yeah. So Mary at the time was president of Mr. Rooter. And we just happened to sit at a table with her. And she was so kind, introduced us to her colleagues that were sitting there. But Mary is a dear friend to this day.
Wow.
Because we have stayed in contact. And it's been really fun to watch her rise in the company Neighborly, but also then rise in the International Franchise Association. She's next year's chair.
Wow.
And so it's just been really fun to watch that. But I met her in 2007 and we're still friends. But what I want to tell you is you have to show up. You have to show up and be kind. And I know you teach networking all the time, so I don't want to teach networking, but
teach it.
I want the story I wanted to tell. I'm taking a really long time to get there. Is So 2007, joined the International Franchise Association. My kids were still at home at that point, so I really wasn't super involved in all the conferences that happened in our industry because I was mom and I needed to be there for my kids. But in 2013, 2014, I made a switch from being super involved here locally in Tulsa to putting my time and effort into the International Franchise Association. And I did that by speaking, by being a panelist, by volunteering on the membership committee. All of these things gave me opportunities to meet people and to find out what they are about, to find out about their brands, to find out about how they were serving the franchising industry and serving their franchisees. And I know how to ask good questions. But in 2017, we made the decision to actually 2016, we made the decision. So 10 years, by the way, I've been in this space, but really only 4 years of heavy involvement, what I would call I'm putting time and effort and focus towards being involved in the International Franchise Association. Well, it came time, 2016, I realized, oh my gosh, I'm a founder and I have gotten to the end of my own education and my own skill set, and I need to elevate. We're at an inflection point in our company, and I was at the ceiling. And I was like, this is as good as we're going to get under my leadership. I have got to elevate some other people, but we didn't have the capital in the company to have these $300,000 salaries. That was what it would likely require just for one executive position. Right. And I'm like, plus I don't need someone full time. And so I started looking around and decided to put an advisory board together. And I had met multiple people. So what I did was looked at the weaknesses that I felt like were in me and in our company. The finances, we needed help with development. We needed someone to be generally like M&A stuff, and where technology was one of our weaknesses. And so I started looking around for people to kind of put on an advisory board. Well, I started asking, and I needed someone to be a go-to person to help with the finances. And there was this guy that I just found online, and I was just gonna call him. I saw him on LinkedIn. I was just gonna call him and see if he would be interested in a board position, but I was kind of getting to know them first to make sure they fit with my core values. And so I called a friend who I did know and said, hey, you're friends with this guy on LinkedIn. What do you think? And she said, why are you asking about him? And I said, well, I need a finance, like a CFO type on my advisory board. And she said, why don't you ask Jay? Jay happened to be her boss, but he was this, like, I'm telling you, when I say bigwig, he is a bigwig. He is like, there's a company called BDO, and he was advising the CEO of BDO. And at that point, they had over 600 worldwide locations. Wow. And he's just, and I had met him and talked to him, and, very social events and stuff. We had multiple conversations. And she said, why don't you ask Jay? And I was like, Jay Duke? He'll say yes to me? And she said, Shannon, he loves you. Wow. And I'm like, he loves me? I mean, I sound like a little kid, but wow. I was like, wow, this person who I highly esteem, right? I'm like, he would say yes if I asked him to be on my board, which, by the way, I'm paying $500 for a meeting, and he's probably, multiple millions. That's right, what he makes. Of course. He doesn't need this. In fact, he said yes. He's still on our advisory board. Nice. He donates his honorarium every time we pay him. And but anyway, that is my entire advisory board. Wow. It's elite. Mary is now on our advisory board. Mary Thompson. Wow. It is this elite group of people that I don't know why they said yes to me, but I think,
I know why they said yes to you, modest lady, because you just have this real genuine heart for helping people, and people want to help people who help people.
Well, they have helped me in a significant way. In fact, when I went through my exit, I didn't have to hire an investment banker because every one of them had M&A experience, multiple times have had M&A experience. And so we would just get on they walked me through it. And
this story just brings back that market, like, and trust. Like, and trust. If people know you, like you, and trust you, they will open doors for you and your business. Now, it doesn't make business easy, but it just makes things a little bit better. And you're doing it with people who like you, which makes, when business gets hard, it makes it so much better. Well, Shannon, we're out of time.
Oh, shoot. I wanted
to tell you. So can you tell everybody how to get in touch with you?
Yes. So LinkedIn is probably the best place to get in touch with me. I'm very active on LinkedIn, and it's just Shannon Wilburn on LinkedIn, or Shine Executive Coaching.
Awesome. Love it so much. Thank you so much for being my first guest of 2024. And I'll see you next month at the IFA conference. Awesome. Thank you so much. So listen, did you hear what Shannon had to say? Relationships are everything, but it takes your effort to build them. You have to show up in a way that people want to help you. They want to open doors for you. They want to give you opportunities. And too many people today, in this day and age, are shrinking back, hiding behind the computer, and not showing up. So thank you so much, Shannon, for that message. Speaking of showing up, I'm going to ask you, I released this book in October, Show Up, Be Up, Follow Up to Blow Up. If you haven't got your copy yet, please go to Amazon, search for my name. It's on there, and buy a copy. Buy two. Buy one for you, buy one for another entrepreneur in your network who could use this, especially introverts. I talk to introverts in this book. You heard Shannon say her husband is an introvert, but he's a stage pastor. So there you go. You can turn it on too. So I want to thank you. Share this show. Sharing is caring. If you are interested in being a guest, hit me up in DMs. I'm everywhere: Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And then you can also go to my website, drasticresults.com, and hop on my calendar. This was fun. First show of 2024, first recording in a very long time. I thought I'd be rusty, but this is where I want to be. So this was fun. I look forward to seeing you next week on the Marketing Strategies for Drastic Results Show. This is Tony Harris Taylor saying, take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow, and we'll see you next week. Bye.